Okay, so welcome to our workshop, Rossi, A Rights Respecting School. Rossi is a registered Scottish charity dating back to 1857 and located on the east coast of Scotland and one of UK's longest established providers of children's services. We work with young people, boys and girls, aged 10 to 18 years old, who have been exposed to multiple adverse childhood experiences, resulting in many complex needs and vulnerabilities. We understand that when children are exposed to these adverse and stressful life events, that these can have a long-lasting impact on their ability to think, learn, develop and interact with others. We help young people deal with these traumatic events by providing age-appropriate and relevant care, education, health and therapeutic interventions. And we also commission independent advocacy and participation services for our young people.
We are a child-centred organisation and our work is relationship-focused. We deliver all our services in a safe and nurturing environment where our young people can grow, develop and thrive at their own pace. We ensure our young people are at the heart of decision making about their care and future so they can achieve positive outcomes. We have a secure and residential service. Our secure service has 3 houses with a capacity of 6 young people in each. Our residential service has 2 close support houses with 1 6-bed and with 1 4. We also have 4th house, Rossi Woods 1 and 2, which are care homes that can house 8 young people in total.
Our specialist intervention team provide all aspects of health and psychological services to our young people. Our multidisciplinary SIS team works collaboratively with care and education staff to improve the physical, emotional and behavioural well-being of our young people. They support all young people with the aim of providing them with therapeutic intervention depending on the presenting need which brought them to Rossi.
Our Through Care service aims to support young people to identify any gaps in their basic life skills that they may have, support young people to start thinking and creating a positive future pathway that will enable them to have realistic positive future plans. Young people are supported to look at career paths, budgeting, shopping, paying bills, engaging with the community, independent living. The Through Care service is involved in many projects including compassion, community networking and volunteering. During the COVID-19 pandemic, our young people were supported to engage with the local community by providing compassion bags for people who were more vulnerable due to the pandemic. These bags included arts, crafts and baking made by the young people. This gave our young people a sense of community involvement, pride in how they were supporting others, giving them empowerment which was translated in their positive actions and attitudes towards this project and feelings of positive belonging to our local community.
We also offer a full education package to young people across both BGE and through senior phases of the curriculum. Young people are further afforded an individualised package suited to their specific need and ability. We can also provide bespoke education pathways that include opportunities for personal achievement awards, DYW opportunities, volunteer and work experience opportunities and link to colleges. So today we're going to talk a little bit in more detail about some of the things that we've done on our journey to becoming a gold rights respecting school. So far we have successfully introduced and continue to introduce the UNCRC to young people upon their arrival at Rossi, and we are implementing the UNCRC across this multidisciplinary organisation.
Young people have led staff training. We're currently working on a project for changing the language in care. We have our youth justice group, which is run by Scottish Through Care Aftercare and Children and Young People Centre for Justice.
Okay. So in terms of introducing the UNCRC to our young people, all of our young people have a rights lesson within their first term at school, and this is usually a fun lesson where we find out what they already know about their rights, if anything, and we explain what their rights are. In order to familiarise the young people with their rights, we play rights bingo, and this gives us the opportunity to talk about each right in an engaging way. And one of the first tasks that young people do is to make a poster about an article that relates to them. And we've put 2 of the posters on the screen for you.
The young people then have 1 rights lesson per week. We will often ask them to identify a time when they feel their rights have not been met. This is helpful as we can discuss as a group an article in detail and think about who is responsible for ensuring the right is upheld and what responsibilities the young person has. As all of our young people do not live with their families and some are in secure care, this can be a really challenging conversation, as they often feel that their rights are not being upheld because they are in Rossi. As a rights respecting school, we are asked to teach the young people that rights are for all children and young people throughout the world. They are there at birth, cannot be taken away, do not come with any conditions attached to them, and are all equally important. This can be difficult as we have to explain that although their rights cannot be taken away and do not have any conditions, they are often living at Rossi because their right to be protected from harm has outweighed part of their right to freedom and privacy. Although these conversations are challenging, they allow for debate, which aids the young people's understanding of their rights, allowing them to further familiarise themselves with their rights and give them the tools they need to be able to challenge appropriately when they feel that their rights are not being met.
As practitioners, we all operate with young people's best interests at heart, but this alone isn't enough. We need to empower, inform and educate our young people to ensure that they have all of the information available so that they can be a voice to challenge when theirs or others' rights are not being upheld. Recently, the young people have demonstrated their global citizenship by choosing to embark in the Tools for Africa project. The young people are refurbishing tools to send to Africans whose disabilities prevent them from making a living doing farm work. The Tools for Africa project has helped people set up their own businesses, furniture making, as well as many others. We've also recently completed a declaration on girls' education. We discussed the reasons why girls were kept out of school across the world and what we can do to help. The young people created a declaration that we hope was included at the recent G7 summit. We've now got a really short video of a conversation with one of our young people who wanted to talk about the impact that learning about his rights has had on him since he's arrived at Rossi. I will say that our young person has quite a low tone of voice, so I'd maybe turn your volume up just a little bit. Okay. So what did you know about your rights before coming to Rossi?
I knew about non-assault, non-sexual assault and non-discrimination and non-racism. But as well, I didn't know much of my rights before, so it also really didn't help me in the long run. But until I came to Rossi, I started learning more about
Yeah, what have you learned about your rights then since coming to Rossi?
I've learnt about nearly all 42 of them, like right to education, right to privacy, right to freedom of association, and knowledge of rights as well, since no one really helped me with that in the past, but up to now.
And has that helped you in any way since learning about them?
It's helped me for a bit, but I wish I could have learned it a bit earlier because it's a bit late where I am right now, but it's helping me along the way right now. So
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So do you feel confident that you could speak up? You have the knowledge to speak up if you feel like your rights are not being met?
Yeah, but it's hard because even though I might be knowledgeable, some people might take advantage because I'm a young person and not many adults might be around for me to actually voice out my rights, even though they know what they're doing is wrong.
Which is why it's really important for you to know them, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is there any right that in particular that's really important to you?
Mainly, I think, can I say two?
Yeah, of course.
Freedom of association and knowledge of all rights. Actually, one more, right to privacy.
Yeah. Why are these ones the most important for you?
Because I never had any of these that much before in the past. Most of my privacy wasn't have that much privacy when I was younger by other people, like as in, let's say I wanted to go do a meeting, I wanted to do this, most things weren't confidential. On some of my other placements, they didn't take my privacy very well. I also didn't have that much freedom of association with other young people because people worried about because they wanted to be more of a parental kind of figure, so but they didn't know how to do it right, so they kind of hid me more away from the outside, so I didn't have that much freedom for it.
Yeah.
And as well for my knowledge of rights. I really didn't have that much knowledge, and there's times where people got me in trouble and I didn't even know how to avoid some of it because people knew about me not knowing that much, so they took advantage of me.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
All of our young people at Rossi have access to an independent advocate through Who Cares Scotland. When young people first arrive at Rossi, our advocate will meet them in person as soon as possible. The young people are aware that they can contact our advocate over the phone at any time and can make an appointment to see her in person, as she is on site twice weekly. They can also request that our independent advocate represents them at any of their meetings and with any concerns that they have within their placement. An independent advocate service has been really crucial to ensuring that we are upholding our young people's rights and putting their voice at the centre of all of our decision making.
Along with our advocate, we run Who Cares groups that are open to all young people. We encourage as many young people to attend as possible. During these groups, we tackle any issues that a young person may be experiencing whilst they are living at Rossi. We have successfully been able to give our young people more access to the media by drafting a proposal and contract for our young people to have tablets in their bedrooms, increase the young people's pocket money and giving them later bedtimes. We've made a lot of positive change through the Who Cares group, but there are many more to come.
Through one of our groups, the young people, some of the language that was used around them in meetings and reports had negative connotations. Therefore, we're currently working on a Changing the Language and Care project. The young people identified words and phrases that they felt were negative and have offered replacements. We're currently creating a pocketbook which will be given to all new and existing staff members, distributed through Who Cares Scotland as well as C by CJ. This project has been 100% led by our young people at Rossi, and we're using their voice for positive change across the care system in Scotland. We're hoping that this will be shared as far and wide as possible.
Due to the learning young people gained about their rights, they came up with the great idea of training staff. Firstly, young people suggest conducting training to our Board of Governors and our senior management team to ensure that they are aware of the UNCRC and what their rights are and the challenges of upholding these rights within Rossi.
The young people wanted to create and deliver the training. They were fully in control, did all of the research, put the training together and created interactive games and a quiz. This was so successful, the young people then suggested that they deliver this training to all new and existing staff members. Therefore, when we now have a new intake of staff, the young people and rights training form a part of their induction.
Due to the recent pandemic, we unfortunately could not complete this training in person. Therefore, the young people suggested that they make a video, thus ensuring that they were still an integral part of the process. We have this video for you to view now.
The Convention of the Rights of the Child was adopted on the 20th of November 1989 at the UN General Assembly. Since then, this date has become the Universal Children's Day. The UNCRC is the most complete statement of the children's rights ever produced. The Convention has 54 articles that cover all aspects of a child's life for all children everywhere. It also explains how adults and government must work together to make sure all children can enjoy their rights.
Every child has rights, whatever their race, gender, religion, language, abilities or any other status. The Convention must be seen as a whole. All the rights are linked and no right is more important than another. The right to relax and play has equal importance to the right to be safe from violence, abuse and neglect.
The UNCRC is also the most widely ratified human rights treaty in the world. It's even been accepted by non-state entities. All UN members except from the United States have ratified conventions. There are 2 other countries that have not ratified the conventions, Somalia and South Sudan. The convention came into force in the UK in 1992.
I chose Article 28 because I believe that every child in the world deserves an education. We all deserve the chance to get qualifications and plan for our future.
So, as Rossi is a multidisciplinary organisation, we asked the young people how they would like to implement the convention across the organisation and involve every department. I was actually on rights, respect in schools training yesterday, and this was one of the things that most schools struggle with. It's having every department and every staff member involved and aware of what they're doing. So the young people suggested that we have a right of the month. Every department would choose a right to be the theme of the month, and this would be displayed within the houses as well as incorporated into lessons and our SIS sessions. The young people thought that this was the best way to have every department involved and thinking about children's rights regularly. So we'll be beginning this during the summer.
The young people also suggested that they include articles within their placement plan. The young person's placement plan is reviewed 6 weekly at their team around the child. Our young people have the opportunity to chair the meeting and review all aspects of their placement at Rossi using the Shinari headings. We looked at the Shinari headings and the UNCRC articles individually, and the young people decided which articles best fit under each heading. We created the wheel shown.
We then made a mock placement plan, including the articles, and presented this to our deputy service managers. The plan was agreed and the new placement plan was implemented across the organisation. So this ensures that every young person's rights are being upheld, and this has been monitored every 6 weeks.
Youth Justice Voices was set up in January 2019 by the Scottish Government and is split between CYCJ and staff. As part of this, Ruth Cratcher, the project manager, set up the Youth Justice Group. The group was set up to allow young people aged between 16 and 25 who have been in the criminal justice system, from stop and search to custodial sentence, to have their voices heard, share their experiences and be part of positive change.
Our young people met with the No Knives Better Lives team when they were in the planning and developing stage of their virtual game on how to reduce or stop knife crime. Young people provided constructive feedback on the game, such as making the streets more realistic, and they were also a part of the voiceovers for the game, and at the beginning of the year were given an opportunity to play this online with the Youth Justice Group. Young people found hearing their voices on the game a little bit surreal, but overall we're really pleased to be a part of this. The No Knives Better Lives programme is currently being rolled out to all schools across Scotland.
The group were advised of the new guidelines for lawyers in Scotland and asked to give their opinions and comments on these proposals, and particularly their feedback on who should support young people when they are being questioned by the police. Young people spoke about their previous experiences and gave suggestions as to what would have helped them when being questioned by the police. Feedback was shared with the Guidelines Group and has been included in the new guidelines for lawyers in Scotland.
Young people also met with Scottish Parliament's Human Rights Committee member MSP Ruth Maguire. The discussion was on the UNCRC being made in a separate Scottish law to further support young people, ensuring their rights are being met and how this is supported. Youth Justice members' views were shared with the Human Rights Committee, and these were shared in the Scottish Parliament at the beginning of the year. The group have requested that they remain part of this work to provide further feedback and support implementation across Scotland.
Within Rossi, various young people have been involved with the Youth Justice Group. The group is fluid to allow as many of our young people as possible to take part, and young people can continue to be able to join the group when they leave Rossi. Secure care standards. Rossi's young people have been involved in the Pathways Secure Care Standards for Scotland project from the very beginning. They helped form the grassroots of the project and continue to be involved in the implementation. Rossi young people have worked extremely hard on this project over the past 3 years. Prior to the young people being shown the previous secure care standards, young people were fully informed of the UNCRC to ensure they had a base knowledge to support their understanding of the secure care standards and how these can protect and support them. Young people were involved in various mini workshops such as Bring It, Build It or Bin It. This was effective in allowing young people to make informed choices when proposing new ideas for the new secure care standards. We continue running these groups to raise young people's awareness and look at how we ensure these standards are fully upheld within Rossi.
Due to the young people's involvement with the Secure Care Standards, Rights, Respect in School and the UNCRC, young people's views continue to be used to support positive change within Rossi. Young people initially completed a list for ideas for change, which was shared within Rossi. Through this process, young people have been informed of the progress that has already been made and have had a real voice in making positive changes. The group continued during COVID-19. The young people were supported and worked hard on finalising the quotes and images for the launch of the website, which happened last October. Young people were supported to work through each standard and give their personal thoughts on what the standard means to them and how they would like this portrayed as an image. These quotes and images are currently displayed along with each standard on the website. Young people also took part in the launch of the website via Zoom parties, which were also attended by Beth Ann Logan from the STAR Group, Children's Minister Marie Todd, Debbie Nolan from CYCJ and Paul Sullivan from Celsius.
Rossi are very proud of the work young people put into this and continue to encourage and support the implementation.
Okay, so I hope that that's given you a bit of an insight into what we've done towards becoming a goals, rights, respect in school. It's a bit of a whistle-stop tour. I'm going to stop this now.